more Radio Classics with Greg Bell on SiriusXM Channel 148.
Anniversary time. Hi, I'm your host, Greg Bell, and right now we celebrate a radio series with an unusual origin. Back in 1957, the writing and producing team of Sam Rolfe and Herb Meadow introduced Have Gun Will Travel to television. It starred Richard Boone as Paladin, a gunslinger for hire who plied his trade out of a San Francisco hotel. The West Point graduate and Civil War vet traveled the Old West serving as a mercenary for folks in need. The TV series was quickly a hit, and on the evening of November 23rd of 1958, a radio companion program launched. Instead of Boone, the lead role handled by radio vet John Dehner. Fresh off his stint is J.B. Kendall, the Frontier Gentleman. We mark its 65th anniversary with 3 in a row. This opening broadcast, known as Strange Vendetta, is the actual debut episode, so it indeed played back on November 23rd, 1958.
Sit down, gentlemen, and sit still. I've come to order a coffin for the first one of you who makes a move. Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Dehner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Good evening, Mr. Paladin.
Good evening.
Oh, here the paper, Mr. Paladin.
Oh, thanks, hey boy.
Excuse, please. Must go a lady look for me.
Lady? What lady? Well, I should say it is a lady.
Oh, very sorry. Could not catch tickets to opera. All sold out.
Oh, I had so hoped to see tonight's performance.
And you still can.
Oh?
I couldn't help overhearing your difficulty. I have an opera box if you would care to be my guest.
Oh, thank you. But we could not presume on your courtesy.
We?
My husband and I, Senor...
Paladin.
Oh.
Now, of course, the invitation extends to him also.
We have been looking for you, my dear.
Oh, Miguel. Senor Paladin, this is my husband, Senor Rojas.
Senor?
And Dr. Mayhew.
Great pleasure, Mr. Paladin.
Dr. Mayhew.
Senor Paladin has kindly offered us his box at the opera tonight. There were no more tickets.
Very kind.
Dr. Mayhew is, of course, included in my invitation.
That's very gracious of you, Mr. Paladin.
The invitation is accepted?
We accept, on the condition that you join us and be our guest for dinner, Mr. Paladin. Is that not correct, my dear?
Quite correct, Mr. Paladin. Until this evening, then, buenos dias. Mr. Paladin?
Oh, husband no like you.
I'm afraid you're right. But then, why should he? Dr. Mayhew, it's time to wake up. The performance is over.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, Mr. Paladin. Opera is not one of my special likes. Which one was this?
The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, at any rate, Don Miguel's wife seems to have enjoyed it.
Miss Doña Maria is a remarkable woman, Doctor. Meant to savor and enjoy beautiful things.
And I might comment for your particular benefit, Mr. Paladin, that Don Miguel is a remarkable man.
Wait a minute.
Huh? Oh, what is it?
Someone behind the curtain.
What?
Don Miguel! Look out!
Senor Paladin, help him! My husband has been hurt.
Please, Doña Maria. Dr. Mayhew will do all he can.
Paladin, he needs treatment at once. We'll have to get him out of here.
Oh, it is you, Senor Paladin.
Yes. Any news?
No, not yet. We are still waiting.
I spoke to the police. There'll be no trouble. It was a clear case of self-defense. The man attacked your husband and was shot down. It was lucky Don Miguel was armed.
Yes.
Is he always armed?
I do not know.
Did you see the man who attacked your husband?
Of course I saw him.
Did you know him?
No.
The man looked very surprised at the way things turned out.
Why doesn't Dr. Mayhew hurry?
Doña Maria, has Don Miguel ever been attacked like this before?
No. Yes, he has. There is no need to lie about it. It's an insane blood feud that has cost many lives already. This was bound to happen. They failed tonight. They will not fail another time.
Blood feud? Perhaps I can help?
This is not a tragic opera, senor. In this case, death is very Doctor, how is he?
He's resting quietly. You may go to him now, Doña Maria.
Doña Maria.
Please.
Give him my card.
This is not time for fun. Have gun. Will travel.
Give it to him. Please.
See, I will.
Well?
The wound itself isn't too serious, but I don't like the looks of it.
Why, Doctor? What's the problem?
There was poison on the knife blade. Nothing familiar. A plant substance of some sort.
Well, the question is, will Don Miguel live?
Yes. For perhaps a week.
Dr. Mayhew has told me I'm dying. That is why I sent for you after I read your card. My wife has told you of a vendetta.
Yes. Yes, she did. What do you want? Revenge?
No. My task for you is much more personal. I want you to escort my body safely to my home in San Tomasino and deliver it there to my wife.
Doña Maria, isn't she here in San Francisco?
I sent her home this morning. I wish to die unobserved.
Someone once commented you were a remarkable man.
Do not misconstrue my sentimentality. The vendetta against our family includes the threat of mutilation of the body, in which case the bestiality is complete. I would prefer that it did not happen to my body. Will you take the job?
All right.
$1,000 and expenses.
We have a bargain.
Good. You'll be paid by Maria upon said delivery of my body in San Tomasino. Thank you, Senor Paladin.
Oh, big robbery in San Francisco.
What did you say, hey boy?
Big robbery in San Francisco. $230,000. Oh, very careless. You read?
No, I was reading something else. Don Miguel Rojas, distinguished visitor from Mexico, died last night of knife wounds suffered last week when he was attacked by an unidentified assailant while attending the opera.
Mr. Paladin?
Yes?
I am Mr. Wilkins.
Oh, yes, the mortician.
You sent for me. May I be of help to you?
You can turn one of your clients over to me, Mr. Wilkins, the late Don Miguel Rojas. Here, this is a letter of authorization.
The body is to go into Mexico. You'll need a certificate to cross the border, sir.
I have that from Dr. Mayhew.
And how do you propose to transport the body?
I've hired a stagecoach, Mr. Wilkins.
When would you like to start?
As soon as possible.
Don Miguel will be ready. Good day, sir.
Good day.
Oh, how long you be gone, Mr. Paladin?
Oh, 12 days, 2 weeks at the most. Now, why do you look like that?
Hey, dead man. Oh, no good trip carrying dead man.
You know, border stations are all alike, Mr. Paladin.
Anybody here?
You just try to go through without inspection. You'll find out if anybody's here.
Where's your destination?
San Tomasino.
Name?
Paladin. My driver's Timmons.
Just the two of you?
3.
John, Miguel. Hey, you can't take a dead body across the border.
Yes, I can. There's a statute book. Read Article 8, page 14. You want to inspect the coffin?
Open that thing up? Oh, not me.
All right, then. What's the country like between here and San Tomasino?
Well, empty, except for a water hole called Loma Verde. The rest is rattlers and blow dirt. Oh, go on. Inspection's over.
Let's go, Timmons.
This is the only spot of green we've seen, Mr. Paladin. Loma Verde's hardly a paradise. I don't like it.
Can't say I like it much myself, but we won't be here long. At least we can water the horses.
The sooner we can move on.
Hold it.
What?
We have company behind that rock.
Huh?
¿Lleves a los manos?
Bandits.
Don't move.
Raise your hands, senores.
Do what he says.
Bueno.
He's alone, Mr. Paladin. Him against us.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
We can let him kill us here, or we can fight him here.
You say the word.
Now.
Wise. Very wise after such a foolish thing. Now climb down carefully.
Now what?
You may bury your friend if you wish.
Wait a minute. Seems I know you from somewhere.
Quite possibly. If I take off the handkerchief, you might remember where.
Don Miguel.
Of course.
You're not a bad shot for a corpse.
Do not make me prove that point again. Turn around, please. Your gun? And now we can talk, like gentlemen.
Sure.
Now, I would like to satisfy my curiosity about that cargo. Open up my coffin.
Money. A great deal of it.
The shipping payroll robbery. $230,000.
You planned well. Dr. Mayhew was in on this?
He has been paid off along with Mr. Wilkins, our undertaker. They made my debt seem very convincing. But not as convincing as yours will be, Senor Paladin.
What are you waiting for?
First, you must help me with another burial. The money must be hidden until certain arrangements are made. Replace the lid and come down. I warn you, any false move will shorten your life and will assure you a much more unpleasant death than you now contemplate. Pick up the shovel. Now move.
When you staged that attack at the opera, what about the man who was killed?
The man was hired to play a part. I changed the ending of his scene.
No wonder he looked surprised.
You cannot play chess without sacrificing pawns. Now, dig.
All right. You're in check. Miguel. Checkmate.
Well, it ain't the body carrier. Come back to the border. Hey, did you deliver that? That coffin's still up there on top.
And the corpse is in the coach. Take a look. You see?
Just sit where you are, mister, and start explaining.
That is the body in the coach. The coffin up here is filled with stolen money.
What are you trying to pull, mister?
You don't think I'm telling the truth?
No.
There's an easy way to prove it. Come on up here and open the coffin.
All right, I will. Here. Give me a hand.
Right.
Well, I'll be.
What's your name?
Farley.
Mr. Farley, there's a lady in San Tomasino waiting for the body of her husband, whereupon she will pay me my fee. I need your help.
What's this got to do with me?
I thought you might want to get credit for the lady's arrest if she's a part of the plan.
What about all this money? What do we do with that?
The colonel in command of the 3rd Cavalry at Nogales will sign for it and escort it back to San Francisco.
All right. We'll turn the money over to him and start back. But how do we know if this lady is guilty or not?
Suppose you leave that up to me, Mr. Farley.
Senor Paladin?
Surprised to see me?
No, but I thought...
I didn't wish to disturb the servants. You see, my errand is quite personal.
Yes, my husband sent word before he...
Would you like us to bring the coffin in this way?
Very well.
Excuse me. All right, Mr. Farley.
I don't like this, Paladin.
This is Mr. Farley, Doña Maria, Senora Rojas.
How do, ma'am?
How do you do? I will get your money, Senor.
Don't you think you should make certain that I have fulfilled my part of the bargain?
Yes, you are right. Open the coffin.
Farley.
Yeah.
That is my husband. I will get your money.
What do you think, Farley?
Not guilty. No woman could be that calm. She thought her husband was alive and then saw him dead.
Then you're satisfied she had nothing to do with it?
Yeah.
All right. Wait for me at the stagecoach.
Don't be too long.
Where is your man, senor? There is a drink for him in the kitchen.
You hid your surprise very well. And your grief.
I had no grief for Miguel. I do not know how he died, but I can never thank you enough for giving me my freedom. My life with him was a nightmare.
I can believe you. I saw it in your face. Goodbye, Doña Maria.
Wait. Your money?
No, I'd rather not.
Please, senor. It gives me pleasure to pay for my errors. Especially since this is the last payment.
Very well. Should you come again to San Francisco, I hope you'll come with me to the opera. Dr. Mayhew.
Oh, I got your message, Mr. Paladin, but I'm afraid I can't give you too much time. I'm a very busy man.
All of us are. Here comes another busy man.
Eh?
Mr. Wilkins, the undertaker.
Dear Mr. Paladin, what can I do for you?
Sit down, first of all.
Thank you.
Doctor?
Wilkins. Well, Paladin, what is it you want?
I'd like to order a coffin.
A coffin?
For whom? For whichever of you gentlemen makes the first move.
But
This is a derringer in case identification escapes you. Hey, boy.
Mr. Paladin?
Get me a policeman. On second thought, get me 2 policemen. 1 apiece.
Oh, big story in papers. Dr. Mayhew and Mr. Wilkins all in jail.
Where they belong, hey, boy. Here we are.
Oh, where are we?
San Francisco Opera premiere tonight. Hey, boy, I want you to take this over to the Opera House. Buy me a box.
Oh,
Now, what's the matter with you?
last time you go to opera, man get killed, money get stolen. Oh, big trouble. You no learn.
Of course I learn. What would you have me do?
No opera, no lady.
Hey, boy, I'm afraid you have a lot to learn.
Have Gun, Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed by Norman McDonnell, and stars John Daner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hey Boy. Tonight's story was written by Ken Kolb and adapted for radio by John Dawson. Featured in the cast were Lillian Bayeth, Harry Bartell, Joseph Kearns, Howard Culver, Ralph Moody, and Vic Perrin. Hugh Douglas speaking.
Strange Vendetta, the debut episode of Have Gun Will Travel that aired back on November 23rd, 1958, or 65 years ago this very week. That's our first of 3 in a row. The TV version had launched 1 year earlier, starring Richard Boone as Paladin. But we're all about the John Daner version. And speaking of that radio superstar, he has a birthday this week. So there are a couple John Daner birthday blocks airing on the channel, and also found on demand using the SiriusXM app. Our next Have Gun Will Travel offering begins right after this.
It has the fresh, clean scent of pine. It's new. It's at your store.
What is it?
It's the best disinfectant anywhere. Kills disease germs on contact.
It's Lysol in a new pine scent.
Right. Now there's a new pine-scented Lysol. Now your home can be pine sweet and Lysol clean with genuine Lysol brand disinfectant. New pine-scented Lysol disinfects, deodorizes, deep cleans kitchen, bathroom, nursery, sick room. Keeps things fresh and sweet with no extra work. Pine-scented Lysol helps guard your home. In laboratory tests, Lysol's anti-germ action kept working for 7 full days. So try this new pine-scented Lysol. Make your home
pine sweet and Lysol clean.
You can still get regular Lysol, too.
CBS Radio will score another goal on New Year's Day, as most of these same stations bring you our play-by-play broadcasts of the 2 year-end football classics, the Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl games. From the Orange Bowl, CBS News sports experts will call the thrills in the Oklahoma-Syracuse contest. Syracuse will be making its second appearance at the Orange Bowl this year with an 8-1 record. Sporting a 9-1 record, Oklahoma will make its 4th appearance. There'll be plenty of excitement at the Cotton Bowl, too, where Texas Christian will be battling it out with the Air Force Academy. The Texans have made it with an 8-2 this year, and the Air Force Academy is the Cinderella team of college football, with 9 wins, no losses, and 1 tie to date. No matter where you go, no matter what else you're doing on New Year's Day, here's CBS Radio's on-the-spot broadcast of the Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl games.
Let's get back to an anniversary special for Have Gun Will Travel, which debuted on radio 65 years ago this week. We just heard the actual debut broadcast, and now our second of 3 in a row.
You came to me with a torch and a gun. You call it righteousness. Call it by its right name. Murder.
Have Gun, Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Daner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Come in.
Oh, clean socks, Mr. Paladin.
Hmm?
Clean socks for trip, very important.
Oh, yes, thank you, hey boy. Just put them in the bag there.
Yes, sir. Bottle of brandy in bag, too.
It's for the trip. Very important.
Oh, snake fight.
Correct.
Oh, no snakes in Nevada territory this time of year.
Why not?
Too cold. Maybe brandy for other purpose, like drinking?
Maybe.
Or maybe to give lady named Cleo to make warm?
The lady named Cleo has hired me to do a job, that's all.
Oh, sure.
She wants me to find her husband.
Oh, sure.
And she's paying me very well.
Oh, sure.
Hey, boy. You know what you are?
No, what I are?
Auf den Knödel.
Auf den Knödel?
Yes. Now, carry this down to the lobby for me. I'm ready to leave the comforts of the Carlton Hotel and head for the wilds of Nevada.
Auf den Knödel.
The lady named Cleo, whom I had traveled over 1,000 miles to help, turned out to be a fat shrew of 50, and her desperate need of me was to find a husband who had understandably tried to blot out his memory of her with drink. By the time I found him, he'd done pretty well. I figured they deserved each other, so I brought him back, memory and all. But I was left in the middle of the Nevada desert, miles from the railroad. I'd been riding for a full day when I heard a strange sound in the desert stillness, or at least a strange sound for that lonesome place. It was a baby's cry. And then I saw the wagon. It sat alone, without horses, forlorn in the sand, no sign of life, except the sound. I dismounted and walked toward the wagon.
Get away from that wagon.
Well, I thought it was deserted.
Move away, mister, while you still can.
Is this all right?
Get on your horse and ride on.
Are you alone here?
That don't matter.
Well, a woman can't last out here by herself. Where's your man?
Clear out, mister.
What's that you've been digging?
It don't concern you.
Is it a grave? Who's it for?
The baby and me.
Oh, look, I don't know what this is all about, but won't you let me help you?
You can't help us none.
I can try.
You ain't a doctor, are you?
No, I'm not.
Move on, then.
What's wrong with the baby?
Typhoid. Typhoid fever.
Well, maybe I could have.
Hold fast, mister. I'd just as soon shoot you dead as know you got a killing fever from us.
But you just can't stay out here and...
I ain't got the strength to dig another grave.
Has the doctor seen your baby?
No.
Well, then you can't be sure it's typhoid.
Mr. Mulrooney knows.
Who?
Mulrooney, the wagon master. He knows the symptoms.
And he just cut you loose? Left you out here to die?
He said it was either the baby and me or the whole wagon train.
Are they sending help?
What can they do?
Well, there's a settlement less than a day's ride from here. We'll hitch my horse to the wagon
No.
and head on.
They won't let us in. The wagon train's there by now. They'll know about the typhoid. They'll never let us in, not now.
Look, there's fresh water and food in my saddlebag. Enough to hold you till I get back.
Where are you going?
To get help.
Mister, you don't have to do this.
Let's just say I want to. Pardon me, ma'am.
Yes?
They said at the store I'd find a doctor at this house.
Yes, that's right.
My name is Paladin. I'd like to speak to the doctor, if I may.
You are, Mr. Paladin.
You're the doctor?
Dr. Phyllis Thackeray.
Oh, how do you do?
Didn't they tell you down at the store?
Well, there were some looks.
I guess people out here haven't got used to the idea of a woman doctor. Most of them won't even believe I am a doctor.
Are you?
My diploma's inside, if you care to look.
Oh, well, no, I'm not the patient.
Who is then?
A woman and her baby.
What's wrong with them?
The baby might have typhoid fever.
Might have?
Well, I'm not sure.
Where are they?
They're lying in a wagon a day's ride from here.
I see.
It's a long ride.
You'll find my horse in the stable. By the time you have him saddled, I'll be ready to go.
You're quite a woman.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Paladin.
Wait a minute.
Oh. Looks like a delegation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just a minute, you two. I got something to say.
Yes, Mr. Davis?
Mister, you didn't tell us those people had typhoid fever.
No, I didn't. Who did?
I did. My name's Jeremiah Mulrooney.
Well, now, Mulrooney. You don't look like a murderer.
What?
You sentenced that woman and her baby to die when you left them out in the desert.
They're diseased.
You've done nothing to help them?
Look, mister, typhoid's a terrible thing. It's nothing to fool around with. We don't want it here.
He that touches pitch shall be defiled forthwith. You've consorted with the disease. The fever is upon you, too.
So, you'd better make tracks, mister.
Wait. Mr. Davis, he's not even sure it is typhoid.
I'm sure. I saw it.
You're not qualified to say.
And who says she is?
Are you going out there with this man, Mr. Thackeray?
Well, of course, Mr. Davis. I'm a doctor.
All right, that's up to you, but once you mix with a fever, you're not welcome back here. And don't try bringing those fever patients back here, either.
If we have to bring them back, we will.
Look, we got folks to protect, children of our own. And we'll shoot you down if we have to keep them safe.
They mean what they say, Mr. Paladin.
So do I. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
I guess perhaps I wasn't used to the idea of a woman doctor myself, especially one as pretty as Phyllis Thackeray. She rode beside me through the desert, all night, without rest, without complaint. Now it was just after sunrise.
Maybe I should have brought something for saddle sores.
You want to rest?
I want to get to that baby.
Shouldn't be long now.
Good.
You know, you should be on a velvet settee, wearing a hoop skirt and fluttering your eyelash over a fan.
I tried that. It was too easy.
Is that why you studied medicine? This was hard?
Maybe, something like that.
Wasn't it tough enough practicing back east?
I guess I'm as much missionary as physician. I was the second woman to graduate from my medical school. Others came after me. It was difficult for all of us, but gradually we're becoming accepted as something better than freaks.
You're not accepted yet. You just got run out of town.
Maybe I'm not the missionary I think I am. Or the doctor.
Well, we'll see. There's the wagon up ahead.
I don't see anybody.
Neither do I. Come on. Who now? They're in there, all right. Both sleeping.
I hope that's what it is.
Is there anything I can do?
Just help me up there. And cross your fingers.
Doctor, coffee's ready.
Smells good.
The food will be ready in a minute. Here.
Thanks.
How are they?
The mother's suffering from exhaustion, exposure, nerves, no sleep.
The baby? Typhoid?
Well, maybe. I don't know yet.
Mulrooney knows all the symptoms.
So do I. High fever, red spots, delirium, and a coma that leads to the crisis. The baby has all of them. Still, it could be something else. But whatever it is, I can't do much for her in this wilderness.
You want to take them back to town?
Yes.
You know what that means?
Yes.
It's necessary? Medically?
Yes.
I'll hitch the horses to the wagon.
Mr. Paladin.
Hmm?
You don't have to come with me.
I wouldn't miss it. There's something about that Mulrooney's face I didn't like.
All right. Stop that wagon right there. Don't come no farther.
They have guns, Mr. Paladin.
I'm going to try to talk some sense into their heads. Here, hold the reins.
Stand right there. No closer.
Dr. Thackeray has examined the woman and child.
The woman has no signs of typhoid.
Her child is diseased.
The doctor isn't sure the baby has typhoid.
I'm sure.
That baby needs treatment. Now, Mr. Davis, you're a sensible man. Are you going to let Mulrooney sentence a woman and child to death?
We'll bring what you need out here. But you ain't bringing them into town.
They'll be completely isolated in the doctor's office.
Paladin, they're sick, and we can't take the chance. We've got to protect them.
They're not as sick as you people. Now, you may be able to keep them out of this settlement, but you'll carry your own sickness with you wherever you go. You'll die again every time you see a baby smile.
We've got our own kids to think about.
How do your children cry when they're sick? Any different from that baby? Suppose it was your child crying like that. Would you send it to the desert to die? Now listen to me, all of you. I'm driving that wagon to the doctor's office, and don't you try to stop me. If you need a doctor, you know where she'll be.
We won't let you do it, Paladin. We won't let you bring disease and pestilence into our midst.
I'm afraid they'll use those guns, Mr. Paladin.
Get back there with Mrs. Benson. Both of you lie flat.
You gonna try it?
Go on, get back.
Come on! Stop me! Shoot!
Mr. Paladin, are you all right?
Fine, we're through. I'll have you in your office in another minute. All through that night, I sat on her porch and kept watch, seeing their torches, hearing the voice of Mulrooney haranguing the townspeople, working them up. But they didn't come. And inside, the doctor worked with her patients. It was after dawn when she came out to me.
Still quiet?
Oh, well. Mulrooney is still working on them like a witch doctor.
There's breakfast inside. You'd better eat something. I'll stand guard for a while.
Thanks. How's Miss Benson?
She'll be all right after she gets some rest.
And the baby?
The fever broke last night.
Oh, what does that mean?
It isn't typhoid.
Not typhoid? You sure?
Yes.
Well, how can you be certain? You've only been with her overnight.
You still doubt me, don't you, Mr. Paladin?
The symptoms are there.
Symptoms can be ambiguous. Now get your breakfast. You need it.
All right.
Morning, Mr. Paladin.
Well, Mrs. Benson, it's nice to see you up and around.
I wish I could tell you how much I appreciate.
Oh, no. No gratitude before breakfast. Baby's better, huh?
Yes, much better.
Miss Benson. Why does Mulrooney hate you so much?
My husband died early on the trip. After a while, Mulrooney wanted me to marry him. Said it was God's will to care for widows, and he was the chosen messenger. I wouldn't let him near me. Then the baby got sick.
Paladin. Come outside.
What is it?
They're coming. Look.
I'll handle them. Go inside with Mrs. Benson.
No, maybe I can help.
You take care of your patients. You may have some new ones.
I want to stay.
All right, but stand back. That's far enough, Mulrooney.
This torch is the fire of truth and justice, Paladin. Will burn away the seeds that Clara Benson has spread among us. Will scourge the disease from our souls and bodies and purify these homes again.
The only disease is in you, Mulrooney. Mrs. Benson is well, and the baby is out of danger.
Lies! In the very face of judgment.
Mulrooney, I'm giving you 15 seconds to drop that torch and call off those rifles.
The flames of the just will banish this scourge. Let the fires rage in the land of...
You have 10 seconds.
Wait! Listen, all of you. That baby never had typhoid fever.
Don't believe her. I saw the child raging with fever, livid with rash.
That rash was measles! 3-day measles!
You're lying.
3-day measles, Mr. Mulrooney. And you left them to die because of it.
Mrs. Benson, bring the baby out.
No, it's not true. You're trying to humiliate me, to belittle me.
You'll see. All of you. The fever is down. The rash has faded. Her eyes are bright. There, look.
Look at her, Mulrooney. You can kill people with hate, but not with 3-day measles.
Mulrooney, 3-day measles.
Stop! Stop me! You can't buy me! Stop! Paladin!
Mulrooney, don't be a fool.
I'm going to kill you, Paladin. I'm going to laugh at your grave.
Let me see.
There's no need. I think he's dead.
You shoot very straight.
Mr. Paladin.
What do you want?
Mr. Paladin. Well, I guess it was wrong to listen to him. He seemed to have so much book learning. But he was just setting us against each other. I'm glad we woke up in time.
Next time, you better wake up a little sooner. Dr. Thackeray, this town hasn't been too good for you. Maybe you'd like to come along with me. They can always use a good doctor in San Francisco.
Oh, please, ma'am. I guess we ain't been very friendly, but we'll make it up to you. You'll forgive us and stay.
Well, Dr. Thackeray?
Thanks, Mr. Paladin, for your offer. But there are too many of those velvet settees in San Francisco. I'll stay here where I'm needed.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Paladin.
Good afternoon, hey boy.
You get in late last night. Sleep all day. Now up and feeling fine.
I do indeed.
Boy, you have good time with Lady Cleo?
Lady Cleo?
Lady who sent for you, you know.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I'd forgotten about her.
Oh, sure.
I met a lady who was much more charming. A lady doctor.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I've had a fine case of 3-day measles.
Oh, yeah, the 3-day measles. Oh, sure.
It's true.
You got dirty laundry. You put out tonight.
To coin a phrase, hey boy. Oh, sure.
Have Gun, Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed by Norman McDonald, and stars John Daner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hayboy. Tonight's story was written by Don Brinkley and adapted for radio by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Virginia Gregg, Vic Perrin, Gene Bates, and Lou Krugman. Hugh Douglas speaking.
I'm Greg Bell, and one more to go in this celebration marking the 65th anniversary of its radio launch. Have Gun Will Travel aired on television from 1957 until 1963, and on radio from 1958 until 1960. When we continue on SiriusXM Radio Classics, our third and final Have Gun Will Travel offering. Be right back.
Everywhere you go, across the country trip or across the street party, you carry the fun with you when you own a Columbia stereophonic high-fidelity phonograph. There's a marvelous selection of 7 new portable models in smart new color combinations at your Columbia phonograph dealer from which you may choose. Each one is a masterpiece of design and beauty. More quality, more features, and more styling have been built into these sturdy portables than ever before. How much fun you'll have enjoying all the wonderful new sound of stereo records. Regular records take on new beauty, too, when played on handsome Columbia portables. You'll be amazed at the big console sound that is reproduced by Columbia portable stereophonic high-fidelity phonographs. You'll thrill to the excitement of Stereo One by Columbia, #1 in the wonderful world of sound. And Columbia portables are economical, too. Prices start as low as $24.95. See them and hear them at your Columbia phonograph dealer.
Car owners, have you ever heard of K-Site Smooth Seal?
Why, no.
Why, no.
Is it new? What's it do?
Well, this is off the record. Just between us boys, your automatic transmission, does it ever make a noise?
You mean a little kind of grinding? Does that little chatter matter? I hear a very weird whir sometimes.
It doesn't sound good, boys, but let's be sure. When you're sitting at the light and it goes to green, you put your foot down hard. Have you ever felt a sort of a jerk, a kind of a jar, or heaven help you, a real thud bump?
Oh, I've felt it.
Oh, me too.
I've had it, stranger. What do we do?
Well, don't buy a horse and don't trade your car. Just get yourself some new K-Site Smooth Seal.
New K-Site Smooth Seal?
New K-Site Smooth Seal.
New K-Site Smooth Seal? How will that help?
Why, it's made to soften those shrunken seals, which are apt to leak when there's power on the wheels. It stops those thud bumps, jerks, and jars that are apt to creep into these modern cars. Why, this K-Site Smooth Seal in one application can pack them all off on a long vacation, and it's less than $2 at your service station. A little new K-Site Smooth Seal, boy?
Come on. I'll go. And if it doesn't work?
You get double your money back.
Returning to the Wild West here on Radio Classics, and our third in a row from Have Gun Will Travel, as we mark the 65th anniversary of its radio debut. This episode is 1959.
You forced me to wager my life against $1,000. Now you can wager yours against 30 miles of desert with a companion who hates you and half a canteen of water.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Daner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel. Headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Oh, Mr. Paladin, this gentleman, Mr. Morgan, look for you.
Mr. Morgan, how are you?
Hello there. I was looking for you in the lobby, and I asked the boy here where I might find you.
Oh, I tell you, Mr. Paladin often take a place of concealment behind potted palm with a chessboard.
Yes, I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, not at all. You bring 2 brandies, please. Hey, boy.
Oh, yes, sir.
Sit down, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you.
So, what can I do for you?
Well, I'm leaving for Silver City early tomorrow morning with my fiancée. You could see to it that I get there alive.
Well...
there's no need to go into all the details of the background, but the situation basically is that my railroad holdings are considerable. A man named Danbury and his syndicate are determined to buy me out, and I don't want to sell.
It seems to me that's your privilege.
Yes, but Danbury's the kind of man who gets what he wants, one way or another. There have been attempts on my life recently.
Mr. Danbury has peculiar business methods.
I have narrowly escaped a bullet on 3 different occasions, Paladin. The latest this morning.
3 misses isn't a very good average. Perhaps they're just trying to frighten you into selling.
That's what I thought the first 2 times, but not now. Will you accompany us to Silver City, Mr. Paladin? I'll pay whatever you ask.
I'll be ready to leave at sunup. Silver City was a 2-day ride through a hot, dry stretch of desert. Morgan drove a buckboard with Stacy Neal, his fiancée, on the seat beside him. I rode alongside, trying to keep out of the dust that boiled up. There wasn't much chance that an attempt would be made on his life out here. Nothing moved. Even the lizards had taken cover from the heat. Morgan!
Yeah?
Those willows off to the left. We'll stop for water.
All right.
Can I give you a hand, Miss Neal?
Thank you.
It's not much of a spring, is it?
No, but it's the last water between here and Rough and Ready.
Rough and Ready?
That's the next town. We'll stay there tonight and go on to Silver City in the morning.
Oh, that spring looks good to me.
You know, men come to the desert in search of gold. Maybe this is the real treasure out here. Water.
I think the desert presents a challenge to come out and fight it. I could beat it, I'd wager.
Darling,
Aren't you happy there's no one here to call that particular bet?
I think we better get moving.
Why, what's the hurry?
Look behind.
Huh?
The rider on that far rise.
How long has he been there?
I noticed him just after we stopped.
I suppose he's been following us?
Maybe. Chances are he's just another traveler heading for this spring.
I don't like it.
Well, the town's straight ahead. After the horses are watered, the canteens are filled. You go on.
What are you going to do?
Double back. Do a little checking. I backtracked for some distance, then stopped by a sandstone bluff to wait for the man riding down the trail toward me. When he drew alongside, he reined in.
Something I can do for you?
Yeah. Just give me a little information, like who you are, where you're headed, and why.
That's a lot of information to give out to a stranger.
My name is Paladin.
You're still a stranger to me. But I don't mind telling you, I'm Howard Gorman.
I've heard of you and your gun.
Well, now.
12 men, isn't it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Come to think of it, maybe it's about time I started thinking about adding that lucky 13th.
Oh?
There's something about nosy people.
I got the idea that maybe you were following us.
Why'd I want to follow you?
I'm not sure. But it's my business to find out.
That's fine. I'd like to know you're tending to your business. But just stay out of mine. There's something about nosy people gets me riled.
Rough and Ready was the only town within a good many miles, and it boasted just one hotel. So I wasn't too surprised to find Gorman in the dining room when we went in to dinner. He was sitting at a corner table, deep in conversation with a well-dressed man.
He keeps looking over here.
That's the man who was following us?
Yes. His name's Howard Gorman.
Oh.
He certainly looks as if he knows how to handle those guns he's wearing.
He does. He has quite a reputation as a gunman.
Well, Danbury hired him, I'm sure of it.
Hey, Morgan, do you know the man with him?
No, never seen him before.
Paladin, he's coming over here.
Paladin? Stand up.
Morgan, take Miss Neal and get out of the way.
Well,
Do as I say.
Come on, Stacy.
Paladin?
You're making a mistake, Gorman.
You going to stand up?
I'd rather finish my dinner.
It's finished.
You shouldn't do that to good food.
Well?
We'll have it your way.
I told you I'd killed 12 men, remember? Well, this is number 13.
I'd been forced to kill a man, and I wasn't sure why. It was a fair fight. Gorman drew first. But somehow it didn't make any sense, and I didn't like it. Later, I went to the bar and ordered a bottle and a glass.
Paladin.
Oh, Morgan. Drink?
Oh, no, thanks. Paladin, I think we should discuss a little business.
What are you going to do, dear? Talk him out of his fee to cover your losses?
Stacy. Now, Paladin, here is your pay in this envelope.
Well, you're very generous, Mr. Morgan, but I haven't finished the job.
How's that?
Well, our arrangement was for Silver City.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter now. It's ended.
I don't understand.
Gorman is dead. That is, there's no danger now.
Morgan, if it had been Gorman shooting at you back there in San Francisco, He wouldn't have missed.
No matter, Paladin. It's finished. Come along, Stacy.
Not now.
Well. Very well. Oh, Stacy, don't bore Mr. Paladin.
You know why I'm not going with him? Because he's hit me for the last time.
Hit you?
I know how he is when he's been crossed or when things don't go his way.
But...
Don't look so shocked, Mr. Paladin. Surely you know there are men like that. He's rotten. Maybe I'm rotten, too. I put up with him because he was rich. But I've had enough. Tonight was too much.
Tonight?
Oh, you still don't understand, do you?
I guess not.
Do you remember the man sitting at the table with the gunman?
Yes.
His name is Shawcross. He's Sid Morgan's business partner.
Business partner? But Morgan said that
I
he didn't...
know. He said he'd never seen him before. They're two of the same kind, those men, sporting gentlemen. It was a bet.
A bet?
They'd heard of your reputation with a gun. They knew Gorman was good and could be hired to kill, so they set it up for you to shoot it out and made a wager on the outcome. Morgan lost.
This was all set up?
Yes.
I killed a man to provide an evening's entertainment?
Yes. They've been doing things like that for years. And getting away with it. Oh, it's over, Paladin. You might as well forget it.
Forget it.
They didn't break any law. There's no way to reach them. There never is.
Stacy?
Morgan! Come down here.
Yes?
I was very interested in what Miss Neal had to say.
Oh. She told you, huh? Well, you've no complaint, Paladin. You were well paid.
Paid for what, Mr. Morgan? To kill a man for a sideshow?
Well, I didn't realize you gunmen drew a fine line.
Well, right now it might be a pleasure to kill. You're wearing a gun. Why don't you draw?
I had no reason to draw against you, Paladin.
Now you have a reason.
I won't draw, Paladin. I won't give you the excuse to shoot me. There's no way, Paladin, unless you choose to commit a real murder.
I spent a long night with no sleep and an anger that kept growing. But finally I had to face the fact that probably the lady was right. It was over. I should forget it. It was early morning when I stopped at a desk on my way out of the hotel.
Yes, sir?
The lady, Miss Neal. Has she come down yet?
Come down. Oh, yes, sir. All of them did. They left in a buckboard before dawn 2-3 hours ago.
What do you mean, all of them?
Well, lady and Mr. Morgan and Mr. Shawcross.
They all left together?
Yeah. Lady, poor little thing.
Poor little thing? What do you mean?
Well, she was crying. I kind of got the notion she'd no cotton to the idea of going alone.
Have them bring my horse around. I have some riding to do. I had no trouble picking up the tracks of the buckboard, but my travel was slow. I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for until I found it. And then I realized I'd had a hunch that was correct. She was lying just off the trail. Stacy. Stacy. Here. Here's water for you. Water? Yeah. Now take it easy. No, not too much now.
Good. This was his way of getting even for what I told you.
Yes, I realize that.
I guess it doesn't matter. I guess I asked for it.
Of course it matters. Stacy, you think you can stand up?
Yes, I think so.
Here, let me help you. A little wobbly, huh?
A little wobbly. Where are we going?
I'm going to help you on my horse. Then we're going to find Mr. Morgan and Mr. Shawcross.
You'll never be able to catch up with
No,
them.
not on the trail. But we can cut across the desert and head them off. You feel able to travel?
Let's go.
It was a hard ride. But when the buckboard came into the turn where the trail leveled off to border a dry lake, we were waiting. Stacy, stay back.
Hold it! Paladin, what is this?
If I fire again, Morgan, it won't be in the air.
Now, don't be hasty, Mr. Paladin.
Yes, Shawcross, I understand. This gun won a bet for you. Gives you some respect for it, huh? All right, get down.
Paladin, whatever it is...
Get down. Throw your guns on the ground.
Now, Paladin, wait now. You're a smart man. And we have money, Paladin. We have lots of money.
So I understand.
I'm sure you're a reasonable man.
Certainly, but I'm also curious. I'm curious as to just how far your money will go in protecting you.
Let us go on to Silver City. You just name a price.
Silver City?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll show you a shortcut.
Oh?
Silver City is due east, across this dry lake. 30 miles, exactly. About a 3-day walk. Well, you better get started.
Walk?
Are you insane?
I told you, I'm curious. You left Stacy to take her chances with the desert with no water.
Well, but Paladin...
You're going to have better odds. I'll give you a canteen.
This is murder.
Oh, no. It's a wager. I made a bet with myself that 2 men carrying a canteen of water could walk 30 miles across this desert.
You can't mean that.
Oh, but I do.
All right. You're going to force us to do this, Paladin?
I am.
Very well. In spite of what your intentions might be, we will consider it a challenge, Shawcross.
All right.
The canteen, Paladin.
Here.
Thank you. Let's just understand this much, Shawcross. We make it to nightfall before taking any water.
Yes. The important thing is not to lose our heads.
By all means.
One thing, Paladin. You'll pay for this.
Suppose you get started.
Paladin.
Yeah?
It is murder.
No.
That sun will kill them.
No, Stacy. They'll destroy themselves. We watched the figures of the men grow small in the distance. Then I tied my horse on behind the buckboard, and we started out across the dry lake, driving slowly behind them, keeping them always in sight. Hours passed, and the sun beat down without mercy. And more hours passed.
Their plan didn't seem to work.
What's that?
Saving the water, have you noticed? You can see them passing the canteen back and forth.
Yes. Oh, Stacy. I don't belong here.
Where?
In the judgment seat. Nah, I'm going after them.
I thought you would.
Come on.
Paladin! Paladin, look!
Oh,
Oh,
no.
hurry, you've got to stop him!
Morgan. He's dead.
Yes. Yes, I killed him. Took 2 swallows of water. He was only supposed to take 1. I killed him with this rock.
I guess you're not beyond the law this time, Morgan.
2 swallows. The agreement was 1.
Come on.
Have gun. Will travel. created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Norman McDonnell and stars John Daner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hayboy. Tonight's story was written by Dennis and Terry Sanders and adapted for radio by Ann Dowd. Featured in the cast were Lawrence Dobkin, Lynn Allen, Barney Phillips, and Vic Perrin. Hugh Douglas speaking. Join us again next week when CBS Radio presents Have Gun, Will Travel.
Get your own box set of that quality Western series by visiting Radiospirits.com. Radiospirits.com. This wraps up 3 in a row from Have Gun Will Travel, which debuted on radio 65 years ago. The TV version is older, having launched the previous year in 1957, and it aired until 1963. When John Daner agreed to take the role, he approached it differently from TV star Richard Boone.